Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Little delay for the rain. All right. So it is Friday Fire, and I'm so glad you guys are here. And I always like to start with some wins. So who would like to start? Something good has to be happening out there.
I'm closing today.
Yes.
Oh, awesome. I'm sure you're excited about that.
Very.
Yeah. Anytime I get to the closing table, it's a good day. Anyone else have a good win?
I got my guy in Alchemist closed on Monday, which you guys all know was a challenge.
Yeah, I'll be glad not to hear about him anymore.
Yeah, but I know it's not over. I know
Yeah.
I know it's not over.
As soon as he takes occupancy, he's going to find at least 10 issues. So at least you're
Absolutely.
prepared. You're mentally prepared for it. But
Yep.
I always recommend think of the positive, right? Maybe it'll be, maybe it'll be just fine. Who knows?
Right.
Anyone else have something cool to share? No? I just wrote this week a offer for $650,000 cash with no contingencies, and it just got accepted. So I'm pretty excited about that.
That's an ultra win.
I know, right? I don't ever sell like high end normally, and definitely not cash like that. So, and it's a
Yeah.
friend of mine too, and she's pretty happy. So anyone else have something cool? Personal, business, whatever?
Yeah, I sold a commercial. It's a collision shop, and it's funny because I always frequent this shop, and I said one day I'm going to sell this place. And 5 years later, I brought him a $1.3 million buyer.
What?
Yeah,
That is
we just
awesome.
got it done. We just wrapped it up.
You just got to be patient, right, Steven?
It's a land contract, so not it's all good.
That's okay though.
It's a quick close, Land contracts are quick closings.
Yeah, you can usually close a land contract, I feel like in like 10 days, something like that.
Yeah. A lot of realtors, when they hear somebody's not approved, they kick them off. That's like the normal, right? I took one guy one time and I said, hey, look, you got $200,000 liquid. You're not qualified for a loan? Fine, let's go get you a land contract. There isn't any, right? So I looked at what was active and we just negotiated. Say, hey, how about this? 150 down land contract. Boom, we closed. He owns a house now.
And that's huge. And I feel like in commercial, that happens very often where they'll definitely entertain a land contract situation, but also houses. If they've sat there on the market for a while and your people are only able to purchase land contracts, maybe, they can't get approved for a loan, call the agent, maybe they have some room to work, not all the time, but, you never know. Anyone else have something cool to share? Thanks for sharing that, Steven.
Yeah.
Anyone else have something cool? All right. So today we're going to be talking about marketing and what's working in your business right now to market and get new business, and what kind of things you're doing that you've seen results from, and paid, unpaid. And this is kind of going to be more of an open forum, because what I've found is that I've been in a couple of groups lately and I'm really getting great ideas from other people in the business. And, obviously I've been in the business for a minute or two, but I love learning, especially from other agents that are kind of doing the same thing. And I also like to see how people are adjusting for the market that's constantly changing, right? So this market isn't forever. This is the market right now. And so I like hearing about that. I had asked Angelina to come on today because I feel like she's always just a wealth of knowledge. She's got an amazing background in marketing. She's smart and she's funny. She's creative. She always has like good ideas that come out. And, she's just like, I feel like, fortunately, because I'm her friend, like, I feel like she just always like, well, this is what you should do. And I'm like, that is a good idea. So, Ange, are you available?
Yes, I am. Sorry, I was trying to unmute.
Okay.
Thank you. That was such a sweet introduction. Oh, I'm blushing.
Well, I mean it.
Yes, I definitely have a little bit I love to contribute with everybody. Just some tips and tricks and things that I've seen over my years in real estate for marketing, like what is working and kind of like a little bit of the new trending things that are working. So yes, I'm excited to be here. Thank you, Amy.
Cool. And then Corey, obviously Corey is huge on marketing. So he does a pretty diversified, I don't know. He does a lot of different methods for marketing. So Corey, why don't you start with some things that you've been doing, some things that maybe worked and continue to work, and maybe share some things that you're not seeing as much success in, and anything new maybe that you've added since the market has changed.
Sure, absolutely. So I feel like marketing when you are a realtor is number one beyond customer service. Obviously, once you get the client, you have to be able to provide them, a high level of customer service and a high level of professionalism, but you can't do that without marketing to get more clients. So first and foremost, it almost sounds cliche at this point when you talk to a realtor about marketing, but social media. You have to have an extremely strong social media presence in order to be, I think, effective with marketing, because anything else that you do, if you are sending out calendars, if you're mailing calendars, or if you are walking neighborhoods, if you're making calls, whatever the case might be. Oh, Amy, you have a friend. And sorry, I get distracted easily. But so when you're doing all these things, so, let's go through a few things that like I do. Okay. So social media, number one. I'm on carts in 2 of our Krogers in Monroe County. And there's an ambulance.
Shiny object. Stay with us, Corey.
Right. Squirrel. Third would be, I like to do email marketing, especially to past clients or, collecting email addresses when we're out and about at different events like a fair. We'll collect emails. So let's just stick with those 3 for explanation purposes. If you are only doing one of them, then that's only hitting them once. So the other day I was at a listing appointment and I think they interviewed maybe 4 or 5 different realtors. It was an estate, and it was a very tough choice. I do know that this seller interviewed all of the top 5 local, well-known, respected agents. So it was not an easy listing appointment. And she called me back and hired me. And she goes, you know what? I asked why she hired me. And she goes, you know what? It was a really tough decision. It came down to you and another person. And I went to Kroger and saw you on the grocery cart. And that's why I hired you. Because it was a sign you're out there a little bit more. And I was like, oh, wow. So the reason why I'm saying that story is not because, I got a listing off of a grocery cart, because I think it was more than that. It was that when you're doing multiple things, it's more effective than just being on a grocery cart or just doing an email. Sometimes you have to market to people 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, whether that's through a mailer or through a grocery cart or through a call or a text. So in my eyes, social media is most effective because it gets you out there. People are sharing your posts and people see your content that may have never seen it if it wasn't from that avenue. But you can't just do social media. You can't just do a mailer. You can't just do email marketing. It has to be a minimum of 3 things. And so those are a couple of my favorite, is doing something that's local. So, here in Monroe County, everybody goes to the local Kroger, right? And so I chose to, be on the carts in 2 areas of Monroe County. And then I also mail around our office here in Monroe because people are always driving by our office and we do a lot of business, right by our office, and we talk to the neighbors. So you have to find what's effective, for your community. And what works for me may not work for you, but I do know that social media works for everybody if you do it right.
Okay, I think that's really quality. Yeah, and people are always scrolling on social media, so I feel like that one is huge. And the nice part is it's mostly free. Obviously, you can boost things and put yourself out there in different ways. I think you're spot on with the diversity, though, of how you're putting your message out, because people learn and appreciate things, or like learn and internalize things in different ways. And some people are like opening every piece of mail that they get, and some people are highly online and more techie, and some people are visual things, whatever. So people take in information in such different ways. So the more diversification, just staying top of mind, staying in front of people, reminding them that you're a real estate agent as often as possible is huge. And I always say, like, if you read something, that's one thing, but then if you see a picture, it's easier to visualize. And if it becomes a video, then it's more, more internalize it maybe and feel a connection, especially if it's, if you're actually seeing the person and how they interact with things or whatever.
And
Steven said
Steven has a really good question, Amy. He said, what kind of social media content do you share, especially with the 3-second attention span? How do you get past that? Especially, I mean, you just see me, I'm like, oh,
yeah.
oh, hey,
Just
Amy.
gonna say, Corey, could you speak on this?
Yeah, I can, because this is me. I'll honestly click on a video, and if you don't catch my attention within like 5 seconds, so at least I'm 5 seconds, I'm like, okay, I don't want to watch this. So it has to be a variety. What I find is the most effective is sharing your listings and your office listings. And the reason is people love to scroll through photos. They absolutely love looking at houses. I can't tell you how many times I've been at the grocery store or out in the community, and people will tell me, I followed your page just because I love to look through pictures of houses. And when someone first told me that, I was like, oh, wow, people are actually looking through these posts. And so I get told that on a daily basis, that people literally will go to my page, follow it just because they want to see pictures of houses or drone footage of houses or videos. So I think first and foremost, sharing listings, and anyone has permission to share any of my listings. You don't have to ask me. Please go ahead and do so. I take the approach, it's more exposure for my sellers. So please do that. But share your listings, your office listings, get permission and share listings. People can scroll through pictures. Number 2, you have to show people who you are. This is something that I personally and professionally could get better at. I share a lot of pictures of like my dogs because I love to rescue dogs and I'm obsessed with animals. So I share a lot of that. And I also like to be out and about in the community. So showing people, what you're doing on a daily basis definitely is helpful. So that would be a second option. And then 3, you with your clients, show people who you're working with. If I sell Amy a house, let's take a picture with Amy at the closing table. And it sounds, like something that we'd be doing regularly, but it's something I actually see a lot of people not take advantage of. Most of the time, if someone hires you as their agent, they're more than happy to take a picture with you at closing. So may not always be the case, but people really do like to see you with who you're working with versus just the picture of the house that you sold. So those are a couple ideas, but don't forget about the personal, like what you do. Like if you love going to the gym, take a picture, of you at the gym. If you like to, like I said, animals, or, your kids play basketball, take pictures of stuff that you're out doing and show people that I am a realtor, but I don't just sell houses.
Yeah. And I think just add on to that is like, you want to be able to connect with people in a way that isn't just real estate. So you might be, for me, like a mom that's active in the school or something. And it's so important that you show that side of yourself, because you might actually connect with somebody and they might actually see that and be like, oh, well, she's just like me. I would love to work with her. So it's about also bringing that value, like Corey said, of having the photos or whatever it is that people want to see. If it is listings, looking at listings and showing the value that you have, but also talking about sometimes it's okay to brag. It's okay to say what sets you apart from another agent. Maybe you are better at selling, homes that are in this area, or homes that have this issue or something. You can always brag about yourself. Or it's even good to talk about too, I think, if you get something over asking, or even if your bid is your bid wins. Like, it's so important to brag about those just for a moment. I mean, don't make your whole social media all about that. And you want to, I really believe in having a content calendar. And this is so huge. And every day you would look at the whole month and you would say, it's testimonial Tuesday. So Tuesdays is when you take your testimonials and you post those. So that way your whole page is not just one thing. You want to have a variety. So that way you're capturing your whole audience, not just one, I guess, type of person. You want to make sure you have something for everybody. So that's really important. So try not to oversaturate with just one thing.
I love that, Angelina. And I feel like that's huge, right? So if you're showing your personal side that people can connect with, the amount of engagement I get with that over like me putting something real estate up, not saying, you know, obviously you should always be putting real estate stuff up, but the amount of engagement I get when it's something personal is so much more. And I always say, you know, maximize those listings, right? So you want to, when you coming soon, it's just listed, it's under contract, it's closed. Those are like 4 hits that you can have along your social media path. But keeping that diversification, because some people are going to connect with you as a realtor because either they're a past client or they're coming into the market or thinking, okay, eventually I'm going to be moving. Some people are going to connect with you because, hey, that's my hobby. I'm a bowler and that's interesting to me because of that. Or maybe you're doing some charity work and they connect with that. So having that variety is so huge, so that you can, you know, connect with people in different ways at all times. Yeah. Oh, I also, you know, if you're doing a video, having some sort of a good hook, especially if it's a video of yourself, a question at the beginning or something like enticing that makes people want to watch it, you know, where they're like, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people and, you know, they're always like duplicate what you see on TikTok or Instagram. Like if you see something that has really high reviews, lots of views, whatever, that's huge. Like copy that. You don't have to recreate things. You don't have to be overly creative on things. You can do just about anything. I was reading these stats and it said 53% of business typically comes from your sphere. 12% comes from repeat business. 10% from signage, which that kind of shocked me. 3% from vendor relationships. So a mortgage lender or a title person, someone that refers you within, and 4% from open houses. But 74% of business is from people you know. So being in front of them is hugely important. And every client that you get, you should be putting as part of your Facebook, friend them at some point of the transaction, and you can decide when it's best for you, either, you know, right when you start working with them or right after they close, whenever you choose. Become friends with them so that you stay in front of them top of mind. That way, when you're commenting on their things, you're going to show up on their sphere as well. And that trickle down effect is huge. The amount of business I've been getting from that is crazy. Like, and I was never a social media person before. So that's really been life-changing. I also read that listings that have professional photography get 50% more views. I think that's huge to keep in mind. I know sometimes, you know, if it's a low-end property, maybe you don't want to get professional photography. However, you might be doing yourself a disservice because you want to demonstrate to people that you're going to give them consistent customer service regardless of, you know, what their price point is. So something else to keep in mind. I also read this cool thing about virtual staging. That's like coming in big time, especially if you have a higher end listing that maybe is empty. Virtual staging is really inexpensive. I heard like as cheap as like $25 can be done within 24 hours. And it really does make an impact when you're looking at, you know, listings online, seeing furniture in the property. That's obviously tasteful and modern is going to give it a different look as you're putting it out. On your virtual tours, try to put your face in there somewhere. You know, sometimes it'll just be houses, you know, or like just the actual rooms and more, you know, property focused. you're actually marketing yourself in these. If you really think about it, houses sell themselves, right? For the most part, especially in the market that we're in right now, be marketing yourself. They need to see you, even if it's a still photo. But there's also agents that have started going to their actual, like, especially if they're doing a bigger thing, they're doing a virtual tour and almost hosting the virtual tour so that you're getting your face, your personality out there, making that virtual tour a little bit more interesting. Anyone have any like thoughts or comments on that?
Amy, the percentages of where you get your next client, can you repeat that? I think that was pretty powerful.
Yeah,
For people to
sure.
take into account, I mean, 74% comes from people who
People
know,
you know.
which I
Mhm.
think is huge, but I think it's also huge that 26% can be, you can get clients elsewhere. And then obviously taking that all into account, some people may be more or less in those. So maybe just repeat that.
Yeah, so 53% typically comes from your sphere, 12% from repeat business, 10% from signage, 3% from vendor relationships, 4% from open houses.
Awesome.
So, and it's, even if a client doesn't buy an open house, you get them, rope them in and like go on to hopefully sell them something else.
I did want
anyone- go ahead.
Can I add something about video
I'd love to.
marketing?
Yeah, please.
So video marketing is so huge right now with the way the algorithm is in Instagram and in Facebook. Your videos will definitely get more views than somebody scrolling. And that's the great chance that you have to get in front of them to either client testimonials. Like, it's so much better to get a client on video to say something about you. It's more impactful than you actually just putting a testimonial out there or telling them to refer to Zillow for your reviews. And educational content, like offer a value to people, because if there's a market update or a market shift or something that you're seeing in your area and you just do a quick video, nothing super long because you're going to lose interest in people really quickly, but you want to have that hook, like Amy said, but you are going to get way more views in the reels when people are scrolling and using hashtags. So, you could look at what's trending, and you can also look what's trending in Instagram in the songs and the music and things. And you can actually use that song, turn it down really low. And just that song alone is going to bump your reel up and it's going to get viewed more, even if that song is super low and all people hear is you. So that's just like a one little tip for Instagram that you can use. And then also hashtags, and then sharing it. And I always say, share things to your stories, right? You want to make sure you're adding something to your stories at least 2 to 3 times a day, because that's going to also keep you above in the algorithm than anyone else in the industry. So if you're doing that, your things will be seen more. And another thing I wanted to add on was making sure you are staying in front of your sphere of influence. It's so important. If it's mailing letters, if it's just sending a text message, if it's email marketing, there's so much, but you really want to make sure you're staying in front of them, because if you're not, somebody else is going to swoop in and take those people from you. So staying top of mind, and you can use that with a lot of different CRM systems, and you could create marketing campaigns that run for you. I know at EXP we have KV Core, but I know other brokerages use different things. I know Follow Up Boss, and there's a few others.
Contact, I think, is the other one.
Constant Contact, yes. So you could even do like email marketing, a newsletter, something that is keeping you in front of them in their home, in their computer, in their phones, wherever they're at, that they're knowing you're still in business. And that's huge. I mean, because people will forget, and especially in this day and age, especially with other brokerages that are really doing a lot more marketing. So you want to make sure that you're doing that, and having a website. I mean, that's whenever I meet anybody, the first thing I usually do is I Google them. And I don't know if anybody else does that, or if they go on social media. If you're going to hire a contractor or somebody, I'm looking them up to see what the reviews are. Do they have an actual page? Like, what are they doing? So make sure you have those things updated. Make sure you have a website. Make sure you have a business page on social media, and that you are actively posting to, because people are going to say, oh, look, this person is real, and they're going to learn a little bit more about you. And that could actually help you get hired.
All awesome tips, Ange. I really appreciate you coming on, and Ange does consulting. So if anyone is ever, is like wants to take their business to the next level, like she does it professionally now. So she's just a wealth of value, I guess. I don't know. She just knows literally everything. So, and she's real techie, which is another bonus. And super nice. But anyone else have any questions? Anyone else have any questions or comments or something that they've used that they're like, oh wow, this is real. I've really seen some value from this.
I was gonna say something here, Amy. As far as the shopping carts go, because that's actually a good thing to put your stuff out there. But you walk into Kroger, there's like 15 different realtors on one cart. So what I thought about different approach is having a QR code on there and all the listings that we had. Forget a picture of
Oh.
us. Forget the glamour shots. It's all, see right now, all my cars, I took out my picture. Forget it.
Wow.
It's not worth it. It's more professional. It's all about the person. So when they see all the inventory on the cart, that's more attractive to a consumer. They'll scan the QR code, go right to your page, boom. It's like an instant engagement, call to
So-
action.
I love the QR code idea. I really do.
Yeah,
So
it
I
is.
believe your face needs to be on there, Stephen. You have a great face, so don't.
Yeah,
don't
but
it's a person,
that's
right?
the point. That's the point. I don't want to offend anybody because they're gonna say, oh, forget this guy. He looks like he got a maid. I don't want that. And I want to shop in peace. Everyone knows who you look like. They're gonna come up to you.
Ah, you want to be famous?
Exactly.
Hey, I know you. You're my shopping cart.
Exactly.
They
You
happened to
sold
one
my
of my
aunt's
friends.
house.
That happened to one of my friends before. He was like, yeah, and then everyone kept walking up to me and he's like, I'm famous at Kroger. I'm like, well,
That's what I'm
you might as
saying.
well be famous somewhere. Locally famous. Anyone else have anything? No. Okay. Well, I just had to do one more shout out. So Megan Powell is on here posing as Mike Mackin. And she is an intern this summer at the agency. And she literally walked in and just was like, hey, I'm in high school and what grade are you in? Are you going into 11th or 12th? I don't remember.
Be a senior.
Yeah, she's gonna be a senior this year. And so she's really excited. I wanted to learn about real estate. So I just wanted to welcome you and thank you for joining us today, Megan.
Thank you for that kind introduction. Appreciate it.
Yes, I love it. Loving it. The ambitious youth. It's so nice to see. Well, I just want to wish you guys all an amazing. Oh, any topics? I want to open that up too. I love that we got this suggestion for this week. But does anyone have any topics they'd like to cover? While we're kind of in this, while the agency is under construction, we're doing this Zoom format. Does anyone have any topics for the next meeting that they're like, oh, this is important to me. I'd like to hear about this or. Okay, well, if so, please reach out to me, to Corey, or Lisa, whoever's contact information you have, Mackin, and we'll be happy to cover your topic. Otherwise, we'll just keep trying to bring some good content to share with everybody. Thanks, Corey. Thanks, Angelina. And I just hope you guys and Stephen too. I hope you guys have a great day and an awesome weekend and the sun better come out. So see you guys.